Just introduced yesterday was the Cadillac Escalade IQ, an enormous electric Escalade based on the same platform as the GMC Hummer EV. It can go up to 450 miles, according to Cadillac, 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds, and it is absolutely monstrous and luxurious. And we're going to look at some things about it today and do a little bit of reaction video to the B-roll for it. Gigantic hood and beautiful front end, actually borrowed from the Cadillac Lyric. I think it's basically a Escalade a little bit, if you want to think of it that way. But gigantic, big SUV. And actually, I think it looks a little bit like the Lincoln Nautilus. And part of what that is because it's more aerodynamic, and you have to round off everything and make it smoother and all that so that the air like flows over it, you know? So that's what's going on here. And we've got some videos here, watching through it, see it fly along. It's like, okay, fine. There's a new welcome signature right here. And so when you walk up to the car and unlock it, you get all these LEDs popping up, and then it fills the things on the sides. It looks like a modern Cadillac, which is, you know, pretty lovely. You get the same sort of lighting sequence there at the back. That's pretty neat. I saw it in person. It's massive. It's absolutely huge. And it starts at $130,000, which is a lot of money. You could get a Rivian R1S for $95,000. You can get Mercedes big SUVs like EQS SUV, similar-ish price point. So who's this for? Well, people who want a giant SUV, I suppose. And really the question I have is, are they going to actually ship any? They introduced the GMC Hummer EV a year and a half ago now and have sold 1,000, maybe 2, and there are still lots of orders for them, so I don't know what's going on there. One of the interesting things about this is that they've kind of Appleified these videos. This is the kind of thing you would see Tim Cook present at Apple, only it's like the GM Michigan interpretation of it. So we'll start with some design stuff here.
You have a choice when you set out to reinvent an icon. You can be cautious,
I met Mandy, she's lovely.
Or you can be bold. Escalade has always been about being bold.
Sure. Escalade is all about being bold and massive.
We had a great team, very diverse team of designers working on this, and every piece seemed to just come together and support the other.
Whatever that means.
We set our sights on raising the bar for style and luxury in the segment. We exceeded it.
Okay, does it look like an Escalade? No. And I think part of that is the, you know, kind of angled rear end that they have right there. And it makes it look even a little bit smaller, which is hard to imagine, but it's not as big and like flying brick in the wind as the prior one, and it's a little more smooth and swoopy, and I don't know if that goes for like the huge bold look they're going for.
The result is a beautiful
front end looks really
more
good.
Expressive silhouette that points towards Cadillac's
and
EV
it's not
future.
small by any
In order
stretch
to
of the
reach a
imagination.
new level of luxury SUV experience worthy of the nameplate, we challenged everything. The team sweat every detail and really got the overall balance right. Between big and bold, yet nimble and quick.
Nimble and quick, okay.
It has stunningly large wheels and tires, which we pushed.
Stunningly large wheels and tires. Those are 24-inch wheels. I remember when like 22s were impressive, and now 24s are standard on this monstrous thing. So, okay, fine.
Farther out to the corners of the vehicle. That creates the powerful stance of an Escalade. On top of that, there's longer dashed axle and hood. That creates a much sportier proportion.
We lengthened the wheelbase and pushed the passenger compartment rearward.
Okay, so it's worth noting that this is the Escalade, and this is the Ultium battery pack that sits on the bottom. This is the new platform that is going to underpin all of the electric cars from GM going forward, and it fits 24 battery packs. So it's 12 on top of 12 stacked in there. And so, you know, when they say they pushed the wheels out to the end, it's like, okay, yeah, you did, because it's an Ultium battery pack. This isn't like something specific to Escalade. So it's just worth noting that. They can adjust a little bit back and forth and left and right and things, you know, to push the wheels a little bit, but it is dictated by the size of the vehicle itself. So it's just worth noting.
The prominent grille is very bold. It's the signature of the design. The sleek new design made Escalade IQ
You'll be seeing this
beautiful, but
at a
it is
lot
also
of
an important
airports
part of
and
achieving
drop-offs
incredible
all around
range.
Manhattan.
As we transition from internal combustion to electric vehicles, aerodynamics have become critical.
We set a goal to have 10% improvement over the gas-powered Escalade.
10% improvement over the gas-powered Escalade in aerodynamics. I mean, that it all adds up, but okay. I guess that says more about the existing Escalade and how slippery it is in the wind than the new one, but I feel like that's a low number, but whatever.
To enable our desired range. And then we exceeded that goal by an additional 5%. We
There we
lowered
go. So
the
they got
coefficient
15%,
of drag
and look at how
by
slippery it is. You can see
15%.
the air
At the same
flying over
time,
the
we
top.
retain the iconic
I mean,
Escalade look and presence.
You have to
Design
basically
and
bash
engineering
the
worked very, very closely
physics of
together.
the submission,
For
and that's
example, a spoiler corner applique connects the edges of the rear spoiler and the liftgate glass, smoothing the transition of air with an uninterrupted surface at the corner of the
Cool.
vehicle.
You know,
Also,
they
the shape
made the arrow
and
better.
size of the
Okay.
spoiler, the distance it
That's also why you get
protrudes
that
from
lip
the
over the
liftgate
top on the
glass,
spoiler.
the exact angle of the roofline slope.
Everything's
All
driven
of
by
those
aero now.
details were
That's why
optimized
all these
for aerodynamic
vehicles,
efficiency
all these EVs start to look
without
the same.
sacrificing
'Cause
style.
aero
The
is aero.
large 24-inch wheels and 35-inch tires add to the vehicle's
35-inch
confident
tires.
presence on the road.
Okay.
They are the largest we've ever offered on Escalade.
We did quite a bit of performance
Yeah, it's huge.
optimization on the wheels. Even though there is beautiful sculpture and shape, the air flows across the wheel much like a flat surface.
I'm a little disappointed they don't
We
spin.
just want to
I'm dating myself
push
there.
ourselves to make sure this vehicle is as efficient as it can be, so you get the maximum range.
Escalade is known for its iconic vertical lighting. Now the lighting is more dynamic than ever. We have designed.
I mean, the lighting
unique
looks really
animation
good.
for the lights that
I'm excited
greets
for what every
people
brand is
as
doing
they
with their
approach.
external LED lighting like this. It looks really cool.
When
And
the
it's
customer walks
when
away,
you're
the
limited by
animations
aero and
reverse,
you can only design
as if
so
to
well.
say goodbye. Beauty
This
can
lets you
also be
customize it,
functional.
and that's
In
pretty
fact,
cool. So the
all
LED
four
lights,
doors power open and close
gotta get used to those.
at the touch of a button, and if activated, the driver doors will
wow,
automatically
power open and close.
as the
I just had a
driver
BMW
approaches with
i7.
the
It
key
does the
fob.
same thing. It's actually kind of nice.
The eTrunk is 12
It's silly,
cubic
but it's
feet.
nice. They don't call it a Frunk. They call it an eTrunk, and I don't know why they're doing it this way. That's a weird GM thing, whatever. But it's huge. This thing is a really big thing, and they have basically appropriated the design of the Ford F-150 Lightning for how this works. So the grille, the way it pops up, it gives you this low opening front. There are power outlets in there. There's a lot of room in there, which is pretty impressive. And if you think about this is going to be used to haul around families and luggage and all sorts of things like that, it fits well. And I guess that's why they have a Rimowa piece of luggage in there with the golf bag.
You can easily fit,
You can fit
all
two golf
of the
bags
gear you need
and
for your next adventure.
Plenty of stuff. Lots of room
From
in
our
there.
perspective, aerodynamics are never achieved through one component. If one component changes, the optimum shape or position of another component might change. It's always a balance. And on the new
And so,
Escalade
you know,
IQ,
the reason it's
we struck
slippery
a
and it's not
very
boxy looking,
effective,
that's how they
very
get to
beautiful
450
balance.
miles of estimated range, right?
We have sleek, athletic proportions the customer will love. And we have aerodynamics that are amazing. It's a win-win.
Sure. Looks great. All right, so there's that, and then we have some more videos. So you can see what I meant about this looking like an Apple video, right? Where they have the people talking, and then they show the things, and it's all beautiful, and it is really well produced and everything, and I think they did a good job. You've got the guy, and he's talking, he's well lit, and then in the background, you sort of got the blurring colors and everything. This reminds me very much of like an Apple
Cadillac
product
are
video,
distinctive design
and
statements.
I don't think that's
all their own.
accidental.
For Escalade IQ, our intent from the very beginning was to create an interior that was distinctive, its own expressive persona.
I really like the interior. I think that's the best part of this
In
car
the
by far.
100+ years
Really
that
cool
automotive design has
inside.
been
So much
around,
room.
I don't think we've seen a
Screens
shift.
everywhere. Like, look at that. All right, so you got 7 million screens. The front screen, they call it a 55-inch OLED. It's massive. Down low in the middle, you have a screen that controls the climate control and all that. Then in the back seat, you've got 2 video screens so people can watch videos or YouTube or whatever. And then you got another screen in the middle there. that allows them to control the backseat passengers to control the rear seats and climate and ventilation and audio. If you look through this, there's like a flying bridge and there's storage space underneath. You've got the cup holders, you've got the screen, and then you have 2 wireless charging spots there. So you can have the person on the left has a charging spot, person on the right has a charging spot.
We live by this mantra of humanizing mobility, and that means getting feedback early and often from our customers. It allows us to develop an interface that knows what you want when you want it. And then as you interact with screen content, we're serving it up to you in a way that's easy and intuitive. It gives you this incredible feeling of being in control.
Looking at this, right, basically no buttons. You got a little volume knob down there in the middle of the center console, and then the Cadillac spinny control knob thing. Other than that, you know, you have the trailer controls, which are physical controls over there. Other than that, everything is controlled electronically. You got the climate, you got music, everything. Also, that center console is massive, right? You got a big screen there, and then you got the 2 cup holders way over to the side. Up next to the screen, you can see there's a wireless phone charger for the passenger, and then there's another one for the driver.
One of the advantages of
behind that little
virtualizing
Cadillac
controls
knob.
is that
So
we can design
both
an
driver and
uncluttered,
passenger get
beautiful
phone chargers.
environment.
That's cool.
But the biggest advantage is once a control is virtual,
Ambient lighting. Yes,
kinds
there's
of
lights
opportunities
everywhere,
for
and it
unique
glows, and
personalized
it's different
experiences.
colors.
It won't take long before they'll wonder how they ever lived without all these capabilities.
Sure. They got themes.
The part of this that I think
Right.
no one really saw coming was with the introduction of all the new technologies and the screens, we're not complicating the interior, we're actually trying to simplify it.
Okay.
That's what
I mean,
humanizing
if you got
mobility
good
is all about.
UI, then you can pull it off.
Intuitive little
But we'll
touches
see.
that combine to create a great experience. Navigating the infotainment system is easy.
Okay, we got to address this up front. No Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto. And I was able to talk to them about this, and it is 100% a political decision for them to not include CarPlay and Android Auto. And the reason for that is because when you use like Apple Maps or Google Maps in your phone, it doesn't keep track of how far you have to drive and what the charge status is. And so when they force you to use the Google Maps that's built into the car, it knows charge status and where you want to charge, things like that. And it'll do the auto routing for you. That's great, but I think people are going to really not like this, and people want CarPlay, they want Android Auto, they want their phone on the big screen, they don't want Cadillac to design a UI. We'll see how this goes, but it is a political decision, not a technical one, and they could update it in the future to support CarPlay if buyers really pushed them on it, or if they actually saw lost sales, they might do that. Or they might stick with it, I don't know. But it's a political decision, not a technical one. It is certainly capable of running CarPlay.
It should feel familiar right away because the vehicle comes with Google built-in compatibility. There's ample space for a full screen map. And we placed all of your driver assistant features like available Super Cruise
Okay,
front
sure.
and center. For the driver, there's a customizable widget just to the right of the steering wheel. That's where you can focus on what's important to you and
So if you look at this thing over on the left-hand side there, it shows like the horizontal speedo kind of thing. It's got the digital, which is all you really need, right? But it's got the horizontal one, and that reminds me of like the 80s era Cadillacs with the horizontal speedo. I think it's kind of cool.
terms of vehicle information. And of course, there's the main content area. That's where you'll have quick access to the apps you need most often.
We're taking technology that we introduced on the ultra-exclusive premium Celestiq, and we're bringing it into the Escalade
Celestiq's
IQ.
$350,000,
It's an
by the way.
incredible opportunity to redefine the entire experience for our customers. The roof has low E glass that's tinted to provide shade and filter out UV rays to keep the cabin comfortable. The cantilever center console is a work of art. It appears almost as if it's suspended in air. There are wireless chargers for the driver and passenger, but maybe the coolest thing is the storage. If you carry a handbag,
Got
you'll
space
finally have
underneath.
space designed just for you.
That's actually really
We're
nice.
even
That's
obsessed
one of
over
the cool things
details
about having an
here,
EV.
evident
is you
in
have
the
all this
beautiful
extra
embroidery.
space.
The available 40-speaker
40
AKG sound
speakers,
system
that's what you need.
is breathtaking. The available executive second-row seating package really revolutionizes the rear seat experience.
Must have.
It
I'll
features
sit
the
back
most
there.
premium captain's chairs ever offered in an Escalade. You can use the rear command center touchscreen to adjust
They
your
need a better
HVAC
name than
and even
rear
open and close
command
your
center
doors.
touchscreen. That's
You
no
can use
good.
the nearly 13-inch diagonal screens and HDMI ports in the second row to enjoy your favorite entertainment. And you can charge your devices while recharging.
Which, like, I really wish I could just get, like, Apple TV in the back screens, right? And so a bunch of brands have done Fire TV. Okay, fine. I mean, that's great, but, like, I guess you just plug in your Apple TV there and make it work. And it does have a wireless hotspot, so you can plug it in. Sure, why not?
Yourself with the ventilated and massaging seats. And of course, the panoramic pillar-to-pillar display is the star. It's the focal point of the interior.
One of the goals with the Escalade IQ was to provide you with a consistent experience, no matter where you're seated in the vehicle. On the 55-inch diagonal pillar-to-pillar screen, there's a 35-inch diagonal driver area and a 20-inch diagonal front passenger area. For safety, the driver can't see the...
So these are actually separate systems. The one on the left is connected to all the in-car stuff, so like controlling the climate and the speed and all that. The one on the right is just for media.
Front passenger screen. We've used polarization to block it from view, so the driver only sees a gray screen while media is playing.
So this is kind of cool, actually. So you can be watching a movie or YouTube or whatever on the right side screen, and it'll play through the car stereo. And then as soon as you put the car in drive, it'll polarize the screen so the driver can't see it, but the passenger can. But it'll keep playing. So you can, be watching a movie or watching a podcast or whatever, listen to it as the driver, but the driver can't see it. So that's kind of cool and a good way to get around that.
Technology and design are fused together in the Escalade IQ to create an immersive and luxurious experience. We'll have 4 trim choices that reflect 2 distinct customer aesthetics, split into luxury and sport themes.
They didn't break out the pricing on all this, by the way. They said it starts at $130, but
with optional illuminated trim, the decor features delicate detailing during the day and laser-etched patterning accenting the wood panels. We were inspired by the intricate patterning from the iconic.
It's really pretty. It's really luxury. They're up in their game a bit, but price has got to go with it.
The speaker grills on the doors like decor, with etched stainless steel covers that are unique to Escalade IQ. These are also iterative of the rest of the patterns found on the vehicle. We are entering an exciting new chapter in the history of interior automotive design. It's not hyperbole to say that Escalade IQ is at the forefront of that design revolution.
Sure. Oh, this one, I didn't even finish it. All right, let's go back to this.
Inch. It's a huge win for the customer. We can provide an amazing amount of room in the cabin and an incredibly large front storage area. From a vehicle dynamics standpoint, because of the advanced suspension package and the battery's positioning in the vehicle, creating a low center of gravity, isolation, smoothness, motion control are all very good. Right out of the box, our very first build, the acceleration was incredible. Our first hard accel just looked at each other like, oh my gosh, like, did you feel that in your belly? The GM estimated 0 to 60 times or under 5 seconds.
Some other cool stuff in here. This is worth looking at.
Escalade IQ has standard
four-wheel steer. This is actually a really cool thing. It really helps. Every vehicle I have with four-wheel steer is very noticeably turns more sharply. And it's extreme in these. So I tried it in the GMC Hummer. It's great.
At higher speeds, the system will turn the rear wheel slightly to increase handling stability and control. Cadillac Arrival
This is the silliest thing in the world. This is GMC. This is the Hummer's crab walk, and they call it Arrival mode, and this is ridiculous. You'd never use that.
Escalade IQ also features magnetic ride control. The system instantaneously adapts the suspension to respond to changes in road surface. And then, of course, there's Super Cruise.
Super Cruise!
The world's first true hands-free driver assistance technology.
From the sleek new exterior to the gorgeous interior with new colors, materials, and a pillar-to-pillar advanced LED interface, to the choreographed lighting that brings the exterior and the interior experience together.
Lighting's cool, interior's cool,
Everywhere
exterior's okay. I saw it in person. It is massive.
A lot of great vehicles.
It's gonna be fine. Driving the Hummer, it's gonna be fine. The question is, who is this vehicle for?
And that's exactly how I want our customers to feel. From the bold stance, to the nimble handling, to the heart-pounding acceleration, and the GM estimated range of 450 miles on a full charge, it's a stunner. Escalade IQ is what you get when you follow your soul instead of following the crowd.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go back to here. This is the B-roll. So here's my thoughts on this. It looks great, but number one, can they ship any of them? I haven't seen any lyrics out in the world. I drove that a year ago. The Hummer was a year and a half ago. I know there's orders for them out that have gone unfulfilled. Okay, they've announced the Blazer, they've announced the Silverado EV, they've announced all these Ultium GM vehicles. Where are they? This ships next year, supposedly. okay? You know, why pre-announce it so far in advance? I don't quite get that when they can't ship the vehicles that they've already started shipping, but okay, whatever. The bigger question, I think, is we know that EVs are starting to pile up on dealer lots, and people aren't necessarily buying them. This is not going to be eligible for a tax credit. It's big money. There's huge competition in this arena already. BMW iX, the Mercedes EQS SUV, which is a terrible name, but it's a good car. You know, there's lots of vehicles already for people who want to spend $150,000 on a big SUV. And yeah, okay, this is the new Escalade, but who's going to buy? I don't know. So we'll see what happens. 450 miles of range is great, but it's got a, you know, battery the size of a house. $150,000, great. You know, Cadillac Escalade. I mean, it looks really good, and the interior is fantastic. And when they get to, you know, the similar stuff is going to come to, like, the electric Tahoe and the electric GMC Yukon Denali when those finally come out. But how much are those going to cost? 120 grand? I don't know. It's going to be a lot. But that is the Escalade IQ. Leave your comments in the bottom. Drop a like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know, it does help. But, you know, thanks so much for watching. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, click here to get another one. It's probably a review of some kind. Thanks for watching. Drive safely.